This is a 2022 C8 Corvette 2LT Z51 package, right-hand drive, here in the countryside of the United Kingdom. Now, I'm going to kind of take you for a drive today, just talk you through my thoughts and what I love, what I don't like about owning and driving this car here in the UK. So, first thing we're going to do is start this thing up. Now, even with the EU emissions regulations requiring the GPF on this car, you can hear that it still sounds amazing. I mean, it's nowhere near the traditional American, Corvette sound, but either way, it still sounds absolutely incredible. Now, every time I get in this car, the first thing I do is turn on the Z Mode, and you can see how I have it set up here. I have the steering in between track and touring because I like the, a little bit stiffer steering, but I don't like it too stiff because I'm still kind of cruising. I never track this thing. I always just take it on nice spirited drives throughout the countryside. Engine sound, always have that all the way up. Suspension, again, same thing in the middle because I do like the stiffer suspension when I'm cruising through the countryside roads, but I don't need it at track stiffness. I still like a little bit of comfort factor in my drive. Engine and gear change, I've tinkered with sport, track, touring. I usually keep it on sport here because I feel like touring is too low. Like it really changes gears way too early. On track, I don't really need it all that high. I mean, I'm trying to kind of keep it a nice balance in between a reasonable miles per gallon while also getting a lot of fun out of the car. So I just keep it there. Brake feel, same reason I keep it in the middle as the other two. I like it stiff enough where it's going to feel safe, but I don't ever track this car. I don't need it at the highest performance output. Alright, so first impressions here, you can see I'm in this random countryside village in the middle of nowhere, and the roads are very narrow. I know a lot of people comment on the width of this car driving through a lot of these countryside roads here in the UK. But really, if you think about it, you just saw that transport van that I just passed, and people are driving those on the daily for work. There are people that own Defenders or Range Rover Sports as their daily driving vehicles, and they're driving them, up and down these countryside roads. I guess the major difference is this is a sports car. It's not really built for countryside roads and the kind of bumps and potholes and muddy, rocky ridden roads that you'll encounter here. But at the end of the day, I made a decision that I know I won't regret in 30 years. I could always look back and think, oh, I could have got that Corvette, and I did. So now in 30 years, there's no regrets. These straightaways are amazing. You have national speed limit here, so it's a speed limit of 60 within reason. So obviously, around a corner like this, you don't really want to be whipping this at 60 miles per hour. There could be a biker, there could be a jogger. There isn't, so let's go. So you obviously want to drive reasonably and responsibly, but there's a lot of really fun roads in the countryside here in the UK. So that's one of the big benefits of owning this car here, is you really get to take advantage of the mid-engine and rear-wheel drive in this car, right? If I had any other generation Corvette, like a C7, C6, C5, I'd be a bit more scared driving on these types of roads when it comes to cornering, because you have your engine in the front powering the rear-wheel drive. So this car does corner really well. It does handle these windy countryside roads very, very well. You never feel any sort of anxiety if you're driving as you should be on these types of roads in this car. I've come from Porsche Boxsters, 911s, and sure, you have a bit of a heavier engine in this car. You have the 6.2 liter V8 mid-engine that's powering the rear wheels, but whereas the Porsche, you had the flat six, so it is a little bit more weight when it comes to what's in the mid-engine compartment here, but still, it's very similar drive-wise, cornering, handling-wise. Obviously, very few things beat a Porsche when it comes to handling and performance, especially on roads like this. But, you know, to say American V8 Corvette feels similar in cornering, handling, that's pretty insane to me. So I'm having a lot of fun. I definitely can't complain. You know, see, you have the really good braking there, so you can stop on a dime when it comes to a corner to make sure you get a nice look at a reasonable speed before you really go around that corner. But you just can't beat these roads. You know, this is one thing that I really enjoy about owning this car in the UK. You know, you do get roads like this in rural parts of America, sure. Where I grew up in the East Coast, specifically Northeast and New England, you don't really get roads like this. And so it's a massively amazing kind of driving experience in this car to have roads like this. Not to mention that I think there's less than 200 of these in the UK in general, and so, you know, you don't see these at all, ever. It's like really rare to see one of these C8 Corvettes in the UK. And then not only that, but the fact that it's right-hand drive, you know, how many globally have been manufactured right-hand drive? I think it's a small portion of the amount that have been manufactured globally. So it's definitely different, it's definitely unique. Now, another thing that I really like about this car, and it was a deciding factor in me buying the vehicle, I don't think I would have bought it if it didn't have this feature, but is the MagneRide. Obviously, as you can see, a lot of these roads are kind of anxiety-inducing when it comes to the, like, leveling. You know, they're pretty bumpy. You have, like, drastic drops and raises. Now, I've never experienced any issue in driving on any of these back roads, like, knock on wood, but there are a lot of pretty high speed bumps around the villages and towns, especially school zones, and the MagneRide allows me to lift the front end of the car whenever I encounter any pretty big speed bumps, and even better yet, I can actually lock that location into memory, so it remembers that location every time I approach it and automatically raises the front of the car, so I never have to remember again that I need to raise the front of the car whenever I'm approaching like a speed bump or anything like that. Now, another feature I really enjoy about this car is, I don't know if you could see it here on the heads-up display, but there's a cylinder deactivation. I think it's called active fuel management, the actual system itself, but it deactivates 4 cylinders when you reach a certain, you know, when you're cruising at a certain speed, or, you know, I'm not sure exactly how it works, if you're cruising at a certain speed for a certain amount of time at a certain RPM or something like that, but it helps with the fuel management, so I actually get surprisingly good MPG in this car. I can push it up to like 30 plus miles per gallon on a highway. If I'm cruising on countryside back roads, I can easily get around 25. If I'm driving sensibly and like maintaining that 60 mile per hour and kind of not gunning it at every national speed limit sign, and then in towns and villages and cities, I probably get about 19. I mean, which is still pretty decent for a V8. But the miles per gallon in this car, the fuel consumption is actually really, really good. Right before this, I had a 2021 Porsche Macan S. It was a 6-cylinder, and this actually gets better gas mileage than that did. Not sure if it's like a bit of a lighter car or if it's solely due to the cylinder deactivation, but either way, I mean, this thing pushes a bit higher miles per gallon than I got in the Macan S overall, like average-wise. So that's, you know, that's pretty surprising, and it's a much more fun car to drive. You know, don't get me wrong, I really love my Porsche Macan. It was very practical, really good for these countryside roads, being an SUV, but you just can't beat the fun factor of a 6.2 liter V8. And I think a big part of it too is the contrast. Like, I'm pulling into this really old UK village in this brand new American sports car. Like, you just can't beat that contrast, you know. It's definitely a sight to see. Now, one of the downsides of this car is the blind spots. Even with the top down, I gotta be careful with this horse here. This is definitely something you encounter very frequently on these countryside roads. You have to crawl by them because they get scared, so you don't want to spook them. Let me just pull over here because I have to remove this destination from the GPS to bring me to the... We have my favorite road sign up ahead, national speed limit, straightaway. That's got to be my biggest drawback to owning this car in the UK, is because it is a Corvette that was manufactured or produced for sale in the UK. They had to abide by the EU emissions regulations, and it's not as loud as it can be. You know, don't get me wrong, it's not a Z06, it's not a ZR1. It is a 2LT Z51 package C8 Corvette, but still, like, you know, because of the EU emissions regulations, it is not as loud as it should be, and you can work around it. You know, there are independent shops that build their own exhaust systems that, like, I'm not sure about the granular details. I don't know how it counteracts or combats the GPF or whatever, but it's an additional cost, and it's additional time that you have to send the car to a specialist garage, you know, miles you have to drive to get this thing into a shop just to get it where it should be. At the end of the day, you still get the same performance. You know, you still get the 495 horsepower of the Z51 package. You still get the 2.9 second 0 to 60 time. So it's not the end of the world, you know? It's not the end of the world, and it is an option. If you really want to do it, you can go and get the exhaust custom built by an independent specialist. So, you know, the option is there. A lot of blind corners here, so you have to be careful. You have to make sure you're riding the brakes as you come up to them. Now, speaking of brakes, one of the other huge drawbacks of specifically the Z51 package is it comes with these track brakes that put out a bunch of brake dust. It's incredible. It's annoying. I was cursed with one of the worst ones that the mechanic here has ever seen. Let me just make sure I get around this bend here. But yeah, as soon as I pulled into the parking lot of the mechanic garage, I parked the car up, and when I walked in, he's like, dude, I heard your brakes from down the street. Like, this is one of the worst I've ever heard. It just squeaks, it squeals, because I don't track the car like I mentioned, so the brakes never got worn the way they were supposed to. So one of the first things I did at my first services, when I got this car serviced the first time I did it, was I replaced the brakes. You have to make sure that you really take that into account if you're getting a Z51 package. Are you going to be tracking the car? If you're not going to be tracking the car, are you going to be taking it on spirited drives and wearing the brakes the way they're supposed to? If not, then you're probably going to want to replace the pads with something that are more practical for day-to-day use. But this is just amazing. You don't get this scenery in America. You know, top down, beautiful day like today, you know, you're just driving through these old, historic, you know, British villages in the middle of nowhere in a C8 Corvette. It really doesn't get better than this. these types of roads are like what this car was built for, you know, like the handling, the cornering, you know, this is, you know, I'm assuming it would be to rival European supercars and sports cars like Ferraris and Lamborghinis, and these are the types of roads that we have out in the countryside. I mean, like this is what I would assume this car is built to handle, built to drive through, and you could feel it. It just feels amazing and incredible. Like I don't feel any sense of fear or anxiety taking these corners. It just feels like it was meant to be driven on these roads. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up over here, get some pictures of the car for the Instagram and some reels for TikTok, but make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel so I can get put in front of more people that might be interested in my content. Every like, every comment, every subscribe helps, and appreciate you watching. Make sure you stick around for the next one.